Food preservation. Today we are going to study about food preservation, its definition, advantages, objectives, importance of food preservation, and the principles. Food preservation can be defined as a science which deals with the process of prevention of decay or spoilage of food, thereby allowing it to be stored in a fit condition for future use. It involves the applications of scientific and engineering methods to the practical control of food deterioration. Now, the advantages of food preservation are as follows. It helps to keep food longer. It reduces the waste, allows food to be transported without the need of refrigeration, preserves food by allowing it for a stock pantry, eliminates the necessity for shopping of food every day. Lastly, it prevents food from microbial spoilage. The following are the objectives for food preservation. It is done for the purpose of storage and transport. It is done to protect the food from contamination, to increase its shelf life, and to make it attractive for other consumers. Now we shall see the importance of food preservation. It adds variety to the food, increases the shelf life, increases the food supply, decreases the overall wastage of food, decreases dietary inadequacies, and lastly, there is no change in taste, color, and nutritive value of food during storage. The principles of food preservation are mainly three. Firstly, it is the delay of the growth of microorganisms. Secondly, it's the prevention or delay of self-decomposition of food. And lastly, it is a prevention of damage from insects or animals. Now, the first method of prevention is through microbial spoilage. It is done by asepsis, that is the absence of microorganisms by packaging. The next is the removal of microorganisms, that is done by washing, filtration, coagulation, and centrifugation. Next method is inactivation. In inactivation, low temperatures are used. It is of two types, that is freezing and refrigeration. Both of these prevents the growth rate of microorganisms and thereby decreases the enzymatic and microbial changes in food. The next method is dehydration, which means the removal of water, that is by applying artificial heat under controlled conditions. The last method is anaerobic conditions. Now, it prevents the surviving bacteria in food from growing in the container, which are aerobic in nature. Sterilization consists of two methods again. First is the application of heat. Now, application of high temperature kills microorganisms, for example, baking, cooking, etc. The next method is food irradiation. In this, the food is exposed to ionizing radiations. Mostly it is in gamma rays or high electron beam rays or powerful X-rays, which kills the microorganisms. Preservation is by prevention methods of chemical spoilage. It includes the prevention of enzymatic spoilage by blanching, which is a mild heat treatment or pre-treatment of food, where the food is exposed to heat by dipping it in hot water for a few seconds. It's of two types, steam blanching and water blanching. The next method is by prevention of oxidation or rancidity, which is done either by natural antioxidants or by synthetic antioxidants such as BHA or BHT, that is butylated hydroxyanisole or butylated hydroxytoluene. The last principle is the prevention of spoilage through pests and rodents, which is done by post-harvest techniques, which includes the building of proper storage houses, which must be airtight, waterproof, humidity-proof, heat-proof, etc. Now, hygienic warehouses must maintain sterilized conditions at all times. Fumigation using ethyl dibromide must be done, and there must be an eye on dirt, dust, and rodents, etc. Now, the next method is by chemical methods, which includes the use of fumigants, use of insecticidal spray, and use of inert gases. Physical method is the last method under the third principle. It includes proper drying of the place, proper aeration of the storage house, radiation from a timely basis, and maintenance of the refrigeration temperature if at all some things are stored at a lower temperature.